Hello, my name is Indigo Smith. Today I am here talking with Howard Hughes III, and we're going to be talking about where he's come from and entrepreneurship. So, who is Howard Hughes III?
Young, inspired, very passionate individual coming from poverty, coming from a very disenfranchised environment. I've always knew my potential, but it was always, I never knew the path I would have to take to get there. But very determined as always, and always looking to bring a bunch of people, the youth, along with me. That's who I am. Yeah.
Can you tell me how a young kid from poverty can, make their way up?
Yeah. So just not giving up on yourself. So that's one of the biggest things about myself, is that I failed so many times, but actually not giving up and actually keep going no matter what. That's the only thing that separates me from anybody else. Is that I continued on, I failed, but I didn't give up, and I just kept trying things out.
Yeah, that's
so
good.
That's the motivation that I would give anybody, is
just to keep pushing on.
Keep going.
Yeah. What has been the turning point for your success?
The turning point. I would say a turning point would be, a lot of people think that the turning point happened actually when I went off to college, but it wasn't quite there. It took some adjusting. So when I actually got to college, I started doing business plans for small businesses and in front of these private equity groups and these big investors. And when I realized that I was more comfortable in my hood than I was doing business plans in front of these private equity groups and these investors, I knew that I needed a mindset change. And that reality shock right there was what I needed. And I kept putting myself in that environment until I got comfortable in that environment. But that was a mindset change that really changed my life forever right there.
So for kids who are struggling to transition into college, you would say just to keep putting yourself into that situation, that uncomfortable zone for them to really adjust?
Yeah, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that's what I always say is you got to keep putting yourself out there, but trying things out and find out what you like. You don't know what you like until you try it. So you got to jump out there and find out the different things that are available to you. I use college as a huge networking event for me. I was joining organizations, I was networking with people, I was meeting people, but what it has really done for me is built a huge network for me that I can use for the rest of my life. But I've also tried so many different things out from joining these organizations in a short amount of time, because I was in college. You got the time and school for it. So, yeah.
How can I find my passion?
Finding your passion. So, once again, finding out a bunch of things that you like to do, right? And find someone who's successful at it, and find out their model, how they implemented it, how they became successful at that, and look at their model. Kind of duplicate that, but make it your own. So finding your passion and actually, what you love to do. Just find somebody who's successful, mock that process, make it your own, and try things out.
So since you are a successful entrepreneur, and I'm going to mock things out with you,
okay,
what advice would you give me to become a successful entrepreneur?
So besides trying things out, besides trying a bunch of things out, I would also say learn how to network. Learning how to network is probably one of the most successful, one of the greatest things you can ever learn how to do. So a lot of people don't know how to network. So when you network, you want to meet as many people as possible. When you walk into networking events, people know why you're there, right? And cut straight to the chase. Who you are, what you do, and what you can do for that person. And then if you get to the point where you can't do anything for them, you're obligated to do the fourth thing, and that's refer that person to somebody else. So when you learn how to network, you learn that you're not really just meeting people, you're networking through people. So there you go. You're not just meeting people, you're networking through people. So learn that process, stick with it. When you go into places, have your business cards and everything ready, who you are, what you do, what I can do for you. And if I can't do anything for you, it's my job to refer you to somebody, and learn to network through people. Yeah.
was life growing up without a father?
For me, it wasn't that bad. I mean, it was tough knowing that I didn't have a father around or that wasn't available for me. Whenever I was in tough situations growing up, or maybe it was, homeless or having troubles at home or school or whatever the case may be. But it also drove me. It was something that drove me to accomplish more. So I felt like I had to compensate for that by accomplishing a whole lot of different things.
Right.
And I think it was, it paid off actually. I think that it ended up being a benefit for me to another piece of motivation to drive me to do more in life.
Right. So with that being said, do you think it impacts you still today?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that all the difficulties in life that I've had, I use it as fuel to help me further in life. So it's one of the reasons why I don't give up. It's one of the reasons why I keep going. It's one of the reasons why I continue to make an impact on the youth and give back and things of that nature. But I think it's going to drive me forever. So
that's good. Yeah. It's good to always have that sense of like motivation, even though it's kind of like a bad part of your life that happened. Kind of is still kind of it's driving you to do something better in life.
Yeah.
How do you cope with a family who was never present in your life, and now that you are successful, they want to be a part of it?
Well, so that's always a tough question to answer, but I would say, you learn how to love people from a distance, and then you find out if you're comfortable with giving back to them, or working with them, or helping them, and things of that nature. I don't think that you should do anything you're not comfortable with doing. Something that you definitely need to pray about and find peace, become peace with it. So once you find peace within yourself, and you forgive, and you may not forget, but you learn how to work with them, and continue to reach out. And if it's just not for the best for you and your peace, then you learn how to love from a distance. But in the meantime, I of course try to reach out, try to build those relationships, try to repair everything that didn't work in the past. And if it's not best for your mental state, then I think it's best to love from a distance.
So due to your success, is there anyone that you look up to?
Yeah, I got a few people I look up to. I actually got an uncle. His name is Eric. He's very inspirational. And I'm sorry I got a cold today, but he's very inspirational. He's such a positive person. Not only is he a success in business, but he's very positive all the time. Even in the toughest situations that I probably will overreact in, that he taught me, actually gave me the motivation to build my patience and actually learn how to think positive through the tough situations. So my Uncle Eric, he's an amazing guy. Yeah.
What is the best advice you would give someone right out of college who wants to be in a commercial real estate?
Oh, okay, yeah. So, well, I mean, it depends on the route that you want to take. It's so much dealing with commercial real estate. You can actually go and you can do the broker side, where you're just dealing with businesses and selling businesses and just the intellectual property, or you can go and actually just sell just the brick and mortar. But it depends on your own aspirations. So I would have to ask a slew of other questions in order to answer that question properly. But I would say just research as much as you can. Research different companies, find out who is successful in those companies, but also find out why the failure rate is so high, because it is in that industry. A lot of people look at why a certain person or certain people are so successful, and that's great. Find out people's successes, look at what they did to become successful. But I think the more important question is, why are so many people failing? What are they doing wrong? And that way you can know what definitely not to do so you can succeed. So research. Yeah.
So kind of going back off of that question, so what were you able to do to not fail? Like, what advice would you give someone just to not fail? Okay. And it's so hard coming from, your situation and everything and what you were talking about.
So I'm a firm believer in, if you don't fail unless you give up. So even if you lose money, and which I have, and even if you invest too much, or even if you partner with the wrong people, As long as you continue to try, you don't give up. Anytime you achieve a goal, you're successful to me. So what I would also say is definitely what I did that separated me is that I ended up partnering with people that were extremely successful. So even if I wasn't as successful as them, I was still great.
Yeah.
So that's the advice I would give on that.
What bumps in the road did you face to become this successful entrepreneur?
What bumps in the road did I face? So what bumps in the road didn't I face? So definitely investing. I was an eager beaver coming out of college, even in college. I was a very eager investor. I was a very eager businessman. So what I would do is I would partner with people who I thought was successful based on what I thought success looked like, versus actually doing more research, and I ended up losing because of that. I ended up investing too much at times because of that. But like I said, what separated me was, continuing on and not giving up and actually keep duplicating the same process that helped me win in the first place. So when dealing with commercial real estate, I would probably not shoot for the multi-million-dollar deals. I would start back at a couple $100,000 deals.
So you mentioned in college that you were in a lot of organizations and all that. Were you involved with Greek life at all?
Yes. Yes, I am a member of Omega Psi Phi fraternity. It's a great organization. Our colors are purple and gold. A lot of people know that we wear the purple and gold. But one of the great things about this organization is that we do so much giving back. We do so much that we do not film, actually. We work with a lot of the senior homes. We work with a lot of kids, a lot of essay contests, a lot of blood drives. We do a lot of things to push education and entrepreneurship into different communities. But we also teach people that even if you don't have a lot, you can still give, even if it's just your time, which is probably one of your most important assets. So, but through this organization, I learned so many different things. I learned how to work with people that were completely different from me. I grew up in an environment where everybody was similar to who I was. And, during this organization, I was kind of forced into learning how to work with people who are completely different and actually got completely different talents, and then using those things to help us all be successful. So, yeah, it's great.
That's good. If you could go back and change anything in your college years, what would it be, and what advice would you give a current college student?
Honestly, I wouldn't change a thing in my college lifestyle. I did a lot. I developed myself a lot. So if I look at myself from my freshman year to my senior year, I've grown tremendously, But I would encourage anybody that's going through college is to try as many things out as possible, join as many organizations as you can, and actually, because you can do it all in such a short amount of time, and you'll be able to find your true talents by the time you graduate. So me, I had internships every summer. I had internships throughout the semesters. I joined organizations, as many as I could, and I would encourage the same thing. I think I took full advantage of my college career.
That's good, yeah.
So.
What is next for Howard Hughes III?
What's next? I'm gonna keep pushing the same agenda, pushing entrepreneurship to our youth to get them to understand that they can create their own destiny, they can create possibilities for themselves, but also understanding that being an employee is not the only way. I know a lot of people who are adults and have accomplished so much in life. They got to a point where they were just like, and they never did what they really always wanted to do in their life because they started off in the employee mindset versus actually becoming an entrepreneur. And but I'm gonna keep pushing that same agenda. Also, I got books coming out, The Ultimate Entrepreneur. I got courses coming out. You can become Howard Hughes Entrepreneur Certified. So we gonna keep the agenda rolling. I got a bunch of other great things coming that I can't really speak on yet, but I'm excited about.
Yeah, that's good. In the next 10 years, where do you see yourself?
In the next 10 years, I can see myself literally doing the same thing that I'm doing now, but on a higher scale. So I would say literally exactly what I'm doing as far as pushing entrepreneurship. Books, I definitely want to quadruple the amount of books that I have out. Still having my courses and still actually teaching the youth. So the same thing on a bigger platform, and reaching more people. So
That's good.
yeah.
Being an entrepreneur, what advice can you give me to be a better entrepreneur?
To be a better entrepreneur, you learn how to service the people that you are offering products to. So one of the greatest assets you can have within yourself as an entrepreneur is learning how to care for the people that you're providing a service for. And once you do that, you'll never go broke. You'll never fail as an entrepreneur. Because it's not about becoming an entrepreneur, it's about staying an entrepreneur. A lot of people become entrepreneurs, have been an entrepreneur at least one point in their lifestyle, but actually staying an entrepreneur, staying in business is the tough part. And a lot of people fail at that because they don't really care. They care more about the outcome than they do actually developing the skill.
In the process of it, yeah.
Right. So, absolutely.
In education today, what is one thing you think the system is missing?
I can't say this enough. Just pushing entrepreneurship to the youth, helping them understand the full process on what it looks like, what those tax forms look like, what proposals really look like, what large corporations look for when they're looking to sponsor a nonprofit or a corporation that's just getting started, or what resources are available to businesses for funding outside of loans. A lot of people believe loans are the only way of funding for their business, and it's more opportunities to that. Teaching business credit. A lot of people don't understand that your business credit is not the same as your personal credit. So they start a business and they're already in debt because their personal credit is what the funding department is relying on, and it shouldn't be that way. So it's a lot of different things. I can go on and on about that, but that's just a little bit.
Why are entrepreneurs so important in today's society?
Wow. Well, it's a number of reasons why they've been extremely important in our society, but one of the reasons, entrepreneurship has been the backbone of our country for years to come. And for us in particular, it gives us the opportunity to be able to create our own wealth. We're able to create a system that we can live in and be that lineage of success for generations to come up within our families. So actually being in full control of your own destiny, and that's my motto. I know so many people who have worked for companies, been extremely successful for years, and all of a sudden they go into work and everything is over because they had to do budget cuts within the company. So being in control of your own success, and that's what this is all about. That's what It's Possible is all about.
When do you know you've made it?
When you know you made it? Well, it depends on what made it is for you. And I think that marker is wherever you put it.
Yeah.
For some people, it's when you go to college, you've made it. Whenever you leave the hood, you've made it. Or whenever you bought you a Bentley, you made it. And for me, it was whenever I was able to give back, comfortable. Whenever I was able to take my time that I spend throughout the day to actually talk to the youth and actually work with them and actually develop them. Whenever I'm able to develop new leaders, that's when I feel like I'm made it. And I'm seeing a lot of people that I've mentored become extremely successful because of my mentorship. And I feel like I made it because of that.
Thank you, Howard,
Thank you.
for taking the time out to talk with me. And thank you for watching.
Yeah.